It's the All Birdies No Bogeys podcast, your weekly disc golf analysis podcast right here on JomezPro. I'm your host, Brian Earhart. I'm in Helsinki, Finland. My co-host, Nate Perkins, is on the ground in Tallinn, Estonia.
Yeah.
The event is wrapped up, but before I send it to Perks, I got to tell all you sickos out there, if you haven't seen the results of this tournament, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert.
Stop listening.
I understand if you're not a DGN Pro subscriber, which you very well should be this month with the World Championships coming up too, you're not going to have any post-production coverage yet. The Jomez has been delayed unless you're a DGN Pro subscriber. We don't make the rules around here. Sorry for you. But don't listen to this podcast because we're going to talk about the results of the tournament.
Yep.
And we would spoil it for you. And frankly, this is not the tournament to get spoiled. So stay off social media. Put some blindfolds on. You're going to want to watch when that footage comes out. Now.
That has to be impossible to avoid that. Like, I've never been able to do that as a fan. I've never been able to avoid spoilers. How do you do it? Like, how do you
you just stay off your phone.
How do you even get to YouTube? But once you do want to watch it, how do you get to YouTube without seeing something pop up? I guess it's possible, but it's a tough feat.
I've never had a problem. I used to have like watch parties on Jomez when I was coming up in disc golf. We'd go to my buddy's office and order pizza and watch it in the conference room, but we never had a problem there. I think the people who commit to the non-spoiler life, it's a commitment, but it's probably a very satisfying life to live, and good luck to you all. But Nate, what the absolute F happened this weekend? You were out there, 4,600 people there on the ground, all around Hole 18's green on Sunday, 15,000 people throughout the entire week. Yeah, tournament before Worlds, but this is a phenomenal tournament before Worlds. These two tournaments are the most unprecedented in regards to the show that they're putting on. Cannot wait for next week, but talk about this week. Start it off.
Yeah, this is hands down the best event in disc golf that I've ever seen. It's the most professional event. More money went into this event than any event by far. I think the team got like a $500,000 grant to put the production on. From the 700,000?
700,000 euros.
700,000 euros, yeah. And that's just the one grant from the Estonian government, I believe, to produce all of this. And they had it being pushed to Estonian national television. And we've just never seen anything like it. And it delivered. Of course, disc golf tournaments always deliver, but this week it felt extra special because of the stage, because of the professionalism, because of the way that they celebrate the game, celebrate the players, honor the players. You know, the championship moments were both just incredible to witness firsthand.
Well, it's very interesting. On one side, the country of Estonia grants them 700,000 euros to run this event. We're not going to get that anytime soon in the States, are we?
We could, but it needs to, the recognition is miles behind in our country as far as national awareness of the game, right? I think honestly we're a couple viral videos away from like being accelerated into that kind of recognition, but there's nothing like this. There's nothing like the recognition that they have in Estonia and Finland. It's as you said, unprecedented and really, really special to witness. I was talking to Matthias, the tournament director, and he said that he thinks that 3/4 of the entire population of Estonia at least knows that the tournament is happening in Tallinn. Every bus stop has Kristen's face on it. I was taking the bus every day, and like every other bus stop has Kristen Lott, like fully decked out, like throwing a disc on the back of the bus stop. Are you kidding me? That's crazy.
I would think, yes, that you are kidding, but I've seen the pictures, and yes, that's how big it is out there. And it feels to me similar to how, years ago, DDO felt in the United States. We found this small community in Emporia, Kansas, and because they're a small town, they want the tourism dollars. They want people to come see their town. How do we make ourselves unique? Boom, we'll run this big disc golf tournament and bring people all over the country here. And now on the even bigger stage, an entire country, Estonia, has done that. And I walked the grounds the day before the tournament, and just getting up and looking at T1 on camera, it looks spectacular, but it is massive. This is beyond anything I ever imagined. I stepped up right in that bottom left corner by the red tent right over there.
Yeah.
And I looked up and was like, oh, that's what they're throwing off of.
It's a work of art. It's certainly a work of art. I love the way that you opened the show. First day, round one NPO, what you were talking about the post-World War II, the modern piece of architecture there. And it really is a beautiful piece of art. I mean, there's millions of dollars of artwork around the grounds here, but right behind the basket of one, there is this incredible sculpture of a man just kind of contemplating life, right? He's like looking down on the amphitheater, and he's contemplating life, and it's just an incredible venue. And to jump into the actual golf itself, I know that a lot of people are receiving the golf as being too easy, right? I've heard that narrative so much, and this week, not from any player. I didn't have a single player say that it was too easy. In fact, most players are like, look, it's hard. It's the OB is treacherous, and it's hard knowing that you have to shoot so well. But I'm going to back up, because while it may come across too easy, the narrative from the actual professionals playing the course is that that's not the case, right? Like, there are difficult shots. Like, you have to smoke the drive on 7 to get into position to then throw to a tiny green, or you're rethrowing. Then 8, you're throwing like a tunnel shot with OB right next to the tunnel. I mean, it's treacherous. If you miss that shot, it was like an instant double bogey, because you have to continue to make the tunnel from like, off axis, like throw. And we saw it bite so many players. We saw it bite Isaac down the stretch. And yeah, the par 4s were a little short. So you could pretty much get yourself a birdie if you blast it up there. But even those shots are like low ceiling, like 450 to 500 feet to then like secure the birdie from there. And I feel like this flavor of golf, while we don't need it at every single tournament, I absolutely feel like there's a home for this flavor of golf, this like approaching near perfection. If you want to win, you have to approach perfection. And that in itself is, I think disc golf is aligned with that, right? It doesn't have to be so related to the par, right? It can be more related to how close were you to perfect, right? And I felt like it delivered some of the most tense moments, some of the most compelling, and just like great storylines. And the pace was incredible. They were playing in 2.5 hours, which I think that makes for, as far as the live product, like it's so much more digestible, right, than like a 4.5 hour broadcast. It's like 2.5 hours. You can sit, and if you just want to watch the back nine, we're talking like almost an hour, and you can just download like that electricity all in like a short period of time.
Well, from a scoring standpoint, this place reminds me the most of Fountain Hills in Arizona, back where we played the Memorial. And all of those highest rated rounds of all time, Paul McBeth's huge round, was it 1132, 1138, something like that? That was shot there. And the course, when you play it, has a couple of really iconic shots. Like the front nine has some of the coolest, like southwestern feeling holes that you could play. Some of those peninsula shots, 8, 9. Hole one's tee shot is iconic. The reason those courses separate so well is because of out of bounds. And I've said this for a while. If you can have natural out of bounds like water and stuff that doesn't need to get roped off, great. That's amazing. Let's do that. But we need out of bounds in professional disc golf to separate, because driving needs to be challenged so much more because of how much easier putting is than in traditional golf. So this is Fountain Hills. Look at this. So Knut Veiler Haaland, I think that's how you pronounce his name, from Norway, 17 out of bounds. I'm not picking on him. This is a guy who shot phenomenal at the #1 rated course in the world, 17 out of bounds. Yeah. Andrew Marweed, 16 out of bounds. Gavin Rathbun, 15 out of bounds. Ezra Aderhold made the cash, 15 out of bounds total.
Wow.
This kind of stuff happens out there. Ben Calloway, what place did Ben take? He has 14 out of bounds on his scorecard.
Where did Adam Hemis finish? We're talking a guy who's won twice this season. Like,
yeah, he missed the cut.
What was his overall to par? Right? What was it like? The cut was at 11. So if he missed the cut, I think he was like 6 down or something.
He was 10 down.
Okay, so he missed the cut by 1. So
no,
it's not Fountain Hills. It's not too easy, right? There's not just a bunch of hyzers out there. There's like really just one hyzer on the 9th. And even that is you're throwing over OB the entire way. You know, can't really just hit the willow because you could crash OB. Like, the course was playing relatively easy if you were on. If you weren't feeling a 100% of your drive, the course could be a total nightmare, right?
Yeah, well, of course it is. And the reason I'm calling it Fountain Hills is not because there's a bunch of stock hyzers out there. I'm saying that's why this course scored so high in the ratings.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you on the Fountain Hills comparison. I think it's warranted.
Over 4 rounds was 18 under par, which is a reasonable score at a Disc Golf Pro Tour event.
Yeah.
So that's what I think is cool about this. The one thing I'll say before we dive into kind of the action side, I really have a lot to talk about with this course.
Yeah.
I think there needs to be a lot more A and B pins out there. The change from A to B on hole 2 completely changed the narrative of everything on that hole.
Absolutely.
It was way too simple, way too forgiving. And then day 2, we step it up a notch. Imagine if they come to the course and 16 of the 18 holes are in level 2 and they have to play pretty much a completely different course.
Yep.
That was originally feeling like a sprint. That's my feelings towards this property. And for the FPO, don't even talk to me about the course being too easy. It scored awesome. And the winner was at 18 under par. And Nate, let's jump into that. What was the feeling in FPO? There was a lot of storylines coming into this. Kristen is coming back to her home country to play a major for the first time here.
Yep.
Lots of pressure. There's tickets with her face on it.
Yeah.
Walk me through it.
Well, I'll start with round 3, actually, because it was the first time where I really felt that Kristen is the hero of the country, right? I actually felt that the way that the fans were surrounding her, the signs that they have up, when they would cheer for her, they would say our Kristen. They were saying our Kristen in Estonian, and she tapped into that in round 3 and used it to her advantage, right? It was the first time where I had actually this in the past like 3 or 4 months, not the first time ever, obviously. Kristen has delivered some of the best golf we've ever seen, but the first time maybe this season or in the last 3 or 4 months where I have seen Kristen be able to maintain patience on the putting green. She's been quite impatient on the putting green and tap into the focus. She had a 5 birdie stretch in round 3, and it was just incredible to see her with the fans. And I interviewed her after that round 3, and she starts crying, right? She's like so emotional in the interview. She's crying. She's like, it means so much. And I was like, is it a burden? You know, it seems like it's almost a burden. She's like, it's not a burden. It is just a lot going on, right? It's a lot going on. And then it was to jump to round 4, it was one of the most heartbreaking things to see her endure that, to see her go through what she went through. She had a complete meltdown. She completely lost control of her bodily function on the green of 11. She put about a meter right on hole 8, so I'll say it actually started on 8. She was the only person to go clean through there. She had a C1 putt. She put about a meter right of the basket, like 3 feet, 2 feet maybe, right of the basket, and barely makes the comebacker. And then 11, when I witnessed that, I'm just like empathizing deeply for her, because I'm like, okay, the moment is just way too big. Like, it's all collapsing on her. And right then I was like, there is no chance that if anyone puts any kind of pressure on her, there's nothing she could do. There's absolutely nothing she could do. And it's so sad to say. And then to be honest, for her to throw the next shot on 12, piped it, incredible shot. And then for her to park 13, I couldn't believe that she was still able to even throw after she had just like 3-putt from bullseye's edge. And I want to make sure, Brian, to not say that it was just Kristen throwing it away, because without Silva doing what she was doing on the back 9, none of that would have mattered, right? It wouldn't have mattered that she couldn't putt. But Silva, she's even on the front 9, gets her first birdie here on the 7th. Her first birdie is this right here. Standstill backhand from the slope onto the island. This was her first birdie. She was having a tough front 9, right? She's even on the front 9. But Brian, she shoots 6 down on the back 9. 6 down on the back 9. Talk about what you saw from Silva to put pressure.
Nate, she's just good. Like, she has a completely different play style to everybody else. The standstill, I think, has saved her in so many situations, and it's so much better than everybody else in the FPO division. I would put her right there up against Hannah Blomroos, but I feel like Silva has that touch standstill a little bit more dialed in. But she just moves slow through the course, steps up, throws her hyzer flip. And this is after, Nate, how much did she lose by at the European Championships to Kristen and Evelina? Like 31 strokes? Or something crazy like that. Like,
yeah, it's incredible to bounce back from something like that. This second shot on 11, speaking of the standstill, that's insane. That's high level. It's like 350 from the standstill through the gap.
But this is just what she does, and right now she's finding that physical competence that Kristen had all of 2023. It felt like never ending, where you're watching Kristen march through these courses and you're like, oh my gosh. And that's where I came up with that phrase that you always laugh at, where I say she would trip over her shoelace. She'd be like having clearly a bad round and win by 7. And that's what Silva's doing right now. She's not as dominant.
Look
she doesn't
at this,
have an answer for every situation.
Talk about this
ridiculous
moment, Brian. This was insane.
But Nate, if she starts winning, putting is just going to have to get better in FPO. Like, imagine if Owen Scoggins was 30 and was on tour playing the way she plays. That's what would happen to disc golf. You'd have to just get immensely better from Circle 2. I believe she's just under 30% Circle 2 right now.
Really?
I think
she's like high 80 C1.
She's 25% Circle 2, 81.79% Circle 1.
Wow,
so third
only
place,
81.
Yeah. Well, top Deanne Carey is at 84, and she's leading. Owen Scoggins 83, Silva's at 81.
Incredible, man. This is just her putting. I think that we those statistics, right? They are not like including the pressure on some of those putts. Like the putt on 13, the putt on 14, Kristen was parked. Even this right here. This is like, we don't see the flag blowing, but it was like head right to left, elevated basket. It's an incredible putt that she is just burying. I mean, I think there was a statistic. Silva had 2 tap-ins. 2 tap-ins for the tournament, Brian. 25 of 27 birdies are from outside of the bullseye.
That's what's going to keep happening, though. And that's what Kristen was doing when she was dominating. And like I was trying to say earlier, Circle 1 is still that final frontier in FPO. If you can put 100% for a tournament and throw the disc well, you're going to be in contention. There are people bleeding strokes on the approaches and the putting green still, and Silva's going to be that player that says, hey, guys, I got you. Like, I'm going to miss a couple putts from Circle 1 here and there, but I'm going to make a quarter of my Circle 2 looks, which is unbelievable and kind of crushing the field from that category. And then, yeah, steps up to 18. I love that she just goes straight at it.
She goes straight at it. That is so bold. I mean, if you tip that over anymore, it could just turn into a roller, go OB instantly. Yeah, she's fun to watch. She's fun to watch, man. It's incredible. When she's, I've said it before, but when she goes through her routine on the putting green, like when she starts that routine, it never pauses. Right? It's this beautiful, just like little pendulum, like goes down, comes up so smooth. And she almost more than anybody makes me a believer on the putting green. Like, it's like her and like Gannon Burr, I'm like, this is kind of inevitable, right? This is inevitable. She's gonna make this. She just, like, she is able to find some state of mind when she goes through that routine where she just blanks out. She totally blanks out. It's a superpower, and it can absolutely carry her to wherever she wants to go in the sport.
But you know what we watched? We watched this same narrative play out with Kristen, and it's still playing out. What happens when Silva Saarinen has to be a face? What happens when Silva Saarinen gets a Porsche logo on her bag? What happens when Silva Saarinen has everybody in disc golf wanting her attention? Because she hasn't gotten close to that yet. Like, yeah, like if Kristen stopped playing after this season, she makes the Hall of Fame. Her cultural impact is so felt.
Yep.
And Silva, there's not necessarily a cultural impact being felt right now. So she's still an underdog. She's still creeping up into that place where people are like, okay, she's going to be a threat every single weekend. She's the best player in the world. Even going into the World Championships, I know there's going to be some doubt from people. There's doubt from me. There's doubt from you. I still think Kristen's the best player in the world because she got second place at this major, Nate. What the heck?
She got second place at the major. You know, she might have lost control and had, you know, somewhat of an emotional breakdown, but you're right. She got second. And I think it is going to be hard to recover. And I'm very interested to see what version of her we see when World starts. I think, I don't know, I can't even imagine what it takes to like fully reset, right? But if anyone can do it, it's Kristen. Right? I can't really think, there's not really another context like this, right? She's the hero of the country, and the weight of being that champion when it was in Estonia, first major in Estonia, it all just unfolded, right? And we've never seen anything like it. We can't compare it to anything in our sport ever. So it's going to be hard to recover from. I absolutely think she can do it. I think it slightly moves her back in my top 5. I don't think she leaves my top 5 at all, of course, but I think that it's going to have an impact on her ability to forget and remember the good.
Well, Nate, the putts that she missed, like I've missed those, and they don't leave me. I'm not Kristen. I'm not the best player. I'm not sponsored by Porsche. I'm not this global superstar that has my face all over my country. But those types of putts, like there's a point of no return where if you miss enough of them, they start to mess up your drives too. And you start to just question your mind-body connection. And all I can hope is that the elite athlete in her takes this next week to just exist, recover, hopefully get on the putting green and find some confidence again. But she needs some rest. She's mentioned that she needs some rest. She has a fractured toe. Like, she's injured. And you know what? I saw some comments. A fractured toe sucks. I have fractured my big toe. I have fractured my little toe on my left foot. No matter what toe it is, it sucks. It's very painful.
It's a broken bone. I mean, you're throwing your weight. You need to be in balance. Like, any kind of injury throws you completely out of sync. And especially one that you're using your feet on every single movement you're doing. So, haters are haters, right? Saying that the broken toe doesn't matter. It absolutely does. It even matters mentally, right? It gets you out of sync mentally. If you have an injury and you're kind of favoring your weight a little bit, it's going to have a big impact.
Problem is, 1 week is not enough to heal that. So you wonder what her recovery schedule is going to be. Do you want to just keep moving? Do you want to keep active to make sure the toe doesn't like set wrong or start to heal in the wrong spot? Because what do? I mean, you can tape it up, but there's not a ton you can do with a broken pinky toe, which I believe that's the one that she broke. But with that said, Nate, going into the World Championships, who's your podium now?
It's Holland, Silva, Missy, Evelina, Kristen. Yep, that's it. And I think that Holland is my favorite to win the tournament. I think that even her performance this week, I don't think detracts from it a bit. She was bit several times by some of the dangerous holes out here. She was bit on day one. She took a 9 on hole 7, day 1. She had a terrible, like, she woke up in a nightmare. She was like 6 over or something, through 12 or whatever it was. She's the most talented thrower right now. And I think that the Monster and the Beast both take premium shot after premium shot. I think the Beast a little less so. Silva's performed great at the Beast. And I think there's going to be some spots at the Monster where Silva's going to have a tough time, like, reaching the landing zone and shaping the shot. I think that while she has a beautiful throw, and what she does really well. But I still think that what UC's built with the Monster, even for FPO, like, he's intentionally designed it to where you have to throw a 10 out of 10 premium line just to get to the landing zone. So I think that Holland has a physical advantage there with her shot shaping abilities. That's why I give her the nod. And then Silva's absolutely up there. The putting is lethal. Missy's up there. She's got too much class. She knows how to be a champion. She's in a similar boat where I think that Holland's going to have a bit of an advantage physically on the shot shaping. Missy is like just going to shape it into the right spot, but it has to be perfect. And Evelina, while she's going to have to throw herself to the title, that's it. She's not going to put herself to the title. She's got to throw herself to the title, and that's a hard task. She's still in my top 5, but it's a hard task to throw it into the bullseye, 30 times or 20 times or whatever it's going to take.
Well, Nate, Kristen won last year at the European Open, and she was 7 under par total. Silva was right behind her at 6 under par total. Third place, Missy, was 3. Fourth place was Evelina at even. Silva knows what she's doing on these courses. And she's playing better than she's ever played. She is winning multiple events with all of the best players in the world in the field. So, with that said, I think it's going to be a great battle. I hope Kristen brings her 100% to the table. She won by 1 because in round 3, she shot a 906 rated round. She shot like trash. And Silva beat her by 13 strokes in a single round. And that's what brought them close.
Wow.
Kristen came back, shot a 60, and then she shot 65 in the finals to lose by 1. So the battle's going to rage on.
Yep.
And they've both had moments where they faltered, but those are still my 2. And my third, I don't know if I can pick. I really don't know if I can pick. But Kristen's still in the top 2 for me because she did what she did this weekend. She missed, 9 circle 1 putts this final round? Something like that?
Really? Man.
Let's see. Let me
I
just
felt
double
so
check
bad for
here.
her. Felt so bad for her.
But she got second. Like, that's what... Yeah, 7 of 16 circle 1X putting and made nothing from circle 2. And she still got second place. So, Nate, I'm wrapping it up right there for FPO. I got a little segue into the next question, or the next division. What are your thoughts on like statues, modern art pieces in the middle of disc golf holes that you can throw over, like hole 6?
I can't see a problem with it as long as it's not a work of art that obviously we're going to inflict damage on. I think that this particular piece, love it. Absolutely love it. I love the chambers. You walk in, you look up, you see the note, and it has such meaning for the song grounds. So there's not a single thing that I think that this detracts from. I actually feel like this makes the hole better because you can't just go low ripper. Like, you have to get it up and get the nose down. So, and if you because you have to get it up, if you get the nose too up, you're gonna hyzer and stall early and go OB. So I don't see a problem with it at all.
I wish that there was like something to go along with like the brutalist nature of this structure. It's called Chromatico, by the way, and it's just for the people who didn't get to listen to us talk about it. That structure is musically designed. So it's 12 concrete chambers arranged like a musical octave, and each one of those chambers is tuned to a specific pitch. I believe it's between F and E, and it covers the chromatic scale. So the ceiling inside each chamber displays the musical note name, and it guides visitors to particular sounds that trigger resonance and echo. So if you sing the right note, it's going to resonate in there. So super cool. And I wish it was like, frankly, on that hole specifically, if it was like a brutalist concrete triple Mando, I would not be mad. Like, as long as it goes along with like the feeling and the vibe of the place, I'm not opposed to it. There's actually rumors to be a beautiful statue used as a Mando at the World Games coming up in China, but that's something to be seen.
Wow. Cool.
And it's supposed to just be epic, but we'll just have to see.
Cool.
Nate, MPO, you got to leave in 10 minutes. You got to catch a bus to get to your ferry. And then you're going to leave me just like Esapeka did at Krokle.
Yeah.
Everyone I love leaves me. I understand.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I probably got a little bit more time than that. I packed up, so I'm all packed up here at the hotel right across the street. And reflecting on MPO, Brian, I couldn't be more happy for Calvin Heimberg. I said it, I had the absolute honor to interview him on the stage in front of 5,000 people, and I said it there, but Calvin Heimberg has been one of the most likable and iconic figures in our sport since he came onto the scene in 2018, 7 years ago, right? There's not a single disc golf fan that isn't stoked to see him take it down. He has been so close. I was there in 2020, I think it was, maybe 2019, in the rain. I actually was there seeing Calvin throw the shots in the rain. I think he shot 10 under par at USDGC final round, and then he hits the basket, goes OB. Chris Dickerson goes on to win. Like, it was ripped away from him that day. You know, I obviously was there 2021 Worlds when he had a chance until his, poor play in the back nine. Was it European Open last year or
2023?
The year before? 2023. Yeah, he was leading heading into the final day. Like, the man has been so close, and for him to walk this tightrope of near perfection with Gannon Burr, Isaac Robinson, Paul Macbeth, like, it is so hard to throw these shots with all the pressure when you can't make any mistakes. He could have made 6 total mistakes in the round, Brian. 6. And he made 5 and shot 13 under par to win by 1. Like, that is such a difficult line to try and walk. And I'll tell you, when he made the putt on 18 from 13 meters, dude, that was one of the most electric moments that I can recall since the holy shot, right? The straight electricity to hear the crowd erupt and see Calvin just release so much emotion. Brian, what are your thoughts on his victory?
Well, the one thing I wish you asked him, and I almost whispered it in your ear, but then you told me earlier in the week that I accidentally did that when you were asking a question before, and I didn't want to say anything in your ear. But I wish you asked him, like, hey, big outpouring of emotion. Was that just from the thrill of the moment, or was there something deeper there? Because he gives us such straightforward answers when we do interviews with him. And it's by design. He looked at me when he threw like 670 feet at the distance competition at the All-Star event a couple years ago. And I was like, you always say that you're not a distance guy. And he looked at me and he goes, sometimes you got to create your own narrative, Brian. and I know that he's thinking about this kind of stuff. Paul Macbeth is all about telling his story to us and making sure we represent him well. And I think Calvin just doesn't want to let us in because he doesn't want to jinx anything. He doesn't want us to be talking about him like that. He doesn't want us to be analyzing him. Every time we talk to him about a round, it's very matter of fact.
Yep.
I threw less strokes than the other people, and that's why I won the tournament. And if you don't ask him a great question, he's not going to answer in a great way. He's a very straightforward guy, and I respect it. And I know as a disc golfer, not overanalyzing things is a superpower, and that's what he does. And that's what I picked up from what you got from him on the green.
Yeah, man. That's a good point there, and I'll always take your advice on the questions. And to give some context for this one, they required us to only ask 2 questions. The tournament staff were like, "Hey, we need to wrap this up. You can only ask 2 questions," which I think is a big miss, right? I think that we want to hear from the champion, right? I want to sit there with him for like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and really talk to him about his journey. Yeah. Right. I want to hear about his journey and the places that he's been. And has he ever like been close to calling it? How do you, he's a chemical engineer, right? Like he had to forego, a really well-paying job and commit to touring with James Conrad in a Suburban, like he's sacrificed a lot. Like he's made it. He's made it. He has a sick contract with Innova, and he's making really good money. Good. He can buy a house if he wanted to. He's been looking at a house in Florida, but the man has sacrificed so much, and I would love to sit and just hear so much from him, because what people might not know about Calvin is he is extremely well spoken. The man is a genius. He's so aware. He's so self-aware, which you can't say that about every champion, right? Like Calvin is really self-aware, and you're right. He does just answer concisely. Like he won't give us a lot, and he gave us a ton right there. Like you know exactly what it meant the moment that hit. Oh, that's Gannon Burt in the background. Props to him.
Well, look at Isaac. Look at Isaac right behind him. Isaac jumps for joy.
Did Isaac jump?
He can't even believe it.
Is that Isaac jumping?
Yeah, man. He was jumping for joy. Yeah.
This putt, Brian. That is so nasty. It was buried. It was a tough win, too. I did not expect it. Honestly, I thought we were going to a playoff straight up.
I just think that over time, you can't not absorb what people say. Like, he's feeling that. He knows what people have said about him at major championships. Josh from the Upshot was on the grounds walking around. He was like biggest Calvin denier of all time. And he jokes about it, saying how Calvin's never going to win a major. and he was getting to watch on the ground Calvin take down the major championship. And Calvin hears this stuff. He's never on his phone. He has someone helping him out with social media. Like, I get that, which is so good for people, and I hope a lot of you get off social media when you don't need to. But he hears it. So I know, and that's why, just, interviewer to interviewer, I wish you worked backwards from that moment, because that's the moment. So that's the first thing, outpouring of emotion on 18. Is that from the thrill, or is that from like your whole career building up to that moment and all of that emotion leaking out of you? And then second question, you just let him go, right? That's at least where my brain is at. But
totally.
I guess to back up, how were you feeling as the interviewer amongst all those people? How chaotic was it?
Oh, dude. Well, first, it's the best part of my job is to even share in that moment for the fraction of time, right? It's so special for me. I really feel like it's an honor, and I try to treat it as such, right? I try to bring class to it. I try to bring a professionalism to it, and I try to take myself out of it, right? So I want to try and hear what they're feeling in the best moment of their life, right? This is arguably one of the Calvin's best moments of his life. So, but when the stage is that big, when you've got the mic, it was going over the whole PA. So there's like 5,000 people there. I'm like shaking, right? I'm shaking, right? I'm like, don't say the wrong thing, because what happens when you're talking and you hear it loud, it's like your mind just wants to go blank. Right. And so Calvin's answering, and I'm like, I don't know what my next question is, dude. I lost it. I lost my next question. I have no idea. But, and I wasn't sure if I should talk about Calvin being likable and, and iconic, but I did. And the crowd just started cheering. Mm-hmm. I'm like, dude, you're the most likable and iconic character in our game for a long time. And no one's not stoked for you. The crowd just starts cheering. I'm just getting full chills. So the moments are incredible, Brian. Moments are incredible. I appreciate your feedback on it. I'm always trying to be a better interviewer, and it's so much fun, man. It's just so much fun to be a part of it. And Calvin's a friend, right? Calvin has treated me with a lot of respect over the years, and he has genuinely sat down to ask me about my life personally and listened. And he's the guy, he's like, hey, how's your house and sisters? Like, how are you doing? Like, what do you guys get into? Have you been to the Ochiko Mountains? He listens to you, and he's a really good friend to a lot of people. And so it's really special to get to interview that man for his first major.
And Nate, I'm not necessarily giving you feedback. I'm more like sharing where my head as an interviewer goes, because there's no right answer.
No, but it's good. It's good. You're so right, though. You're so right. It is good to work back, and you're so right.
But well, yeah. So my philosophy that I've grooved. I mean, again, I'm not a classically trained interviewer. I got my best interview chops on the Flight Diary, which I'm still trying to like build out now. But my thought is, if there's a moment that needs a lot of explanation, or there's like a deep thing for them to answer, I always want to give them the most time to talk about that in the beginning. And then I can gauge, okay, they're really into this answer. Then I can ask, a question, and you can kind of tailor the question to how long the answer can be. Whether it's, a Chris Dickerson answer, which is like, he's gonna answer the exact question you ask him, and he's not gonna extrapolate unless the question's good. Yeah. Or you can ask a Gannon Burr question, something open-ended that lets them flow.
Yeah.
But when you did the high five, I forgot. I think it was Texas State when we were like looking at alligators snapping turtles, and we caught that B-roll of the ducks and the turtles on the log.
Yeah.
You
Calvin and I did. We did the back. That was with I can't. Why am I blanking on her name? Sayananda.
Yeah.
We did Sayananda, the jump high five, and she's talking about gratitude. And then Calvin Heimberg and I, we did the basketball putt. We did the basketball putt.
Okay, Nate. Here's my point. I would never do that. That's not my brand.
Yeah, yeah.
But I loved it when you did that. I thought it was the Nate Perkins. It was like you're bringing like the tour life social element of the game to the people, and that's a beautiful thing. So there's no right or wrong answer, but man, like you got to build your resume standing on that stage in front of all those people. You can go to a local news network and be like, "Hey guys, I'm done with disc golf, but look what I did."
Yeah,
I guarantee you these kids coming out of college with their broadcasting degrees have never done anything close to that. So kudos to you, my friend.
Well, dude, I'll tell you, Brian, I'm walking off the stage, and 3 people, I mean, I signed a few autographs this week, and it's funny because with my career, it's shifting to people more often want my autograph because of commentary. But I had 3 people today say, I love All Birdies No Bogeys.
Yeah!
Will you sign my disc? And I'm like, let's go, dude.
Yeah!
They're like, I love All Birdies, dude. We're Estonians. They're like, I love All Birdies. We listen every week. I'm like, come on, man. That's too cool because it's.
Nate, all I gotta say is looking to Worlds coming up next week. Well, not next week. We got the off week where the players are going to start to practice.
Yeah.
We got a couple of Jomez shows coming up. Then the big show happens. We're doing our live show. We'll give you guys news on what the timing of that is later.
Yep.
Again, Seppo Payu is going to be our third host. We're going to have players coming in and out. We'll put out some promotional stuff on the JomezPro Instagram, YouTube channel. But going into Worlds, I'll ask you your final thoughts as we wrap up this episode. You go catch your ferry.
Yeah.
What are you expecting, and what are you excited about?
Well, I'm excited to see what UC has done to kind of perfect his courses. And I've been reading, obviously, I'm sure you have too, his stories. Have you been reading his stories?
I have, man. I have.
It's incredible. The man he's a poet, and he's probably the person who has single-handedly done the most for disc golf. I think I can say that comfortably. I think UC Maresma has done more for the sport of disc golf than any other individual. And it's been really special to read his words about his story. I'm really excited to see what he's done to kind of perfect the course in the Monster, because he's already kind of perfected the Beast, right? We know that course is going to deliver. But the Monster, he's going to make some tweaks to. It's going to be looking incredible. It's just going to be every little detail is going to be given so much attention. There's going to be beautiful mulch around every green. Can't wait to see the actual venue itself. And, of course, the players are just going to deliver, right? There's no doubt that it's going to be – no one's going to run away with this tournament. There's no doubt we're going to be on the edge of our seat the entire time. So what am I excited for? I'm excited to see – who is able to go the distance and go 5 rounds, right?
Yeah.
I can't wait. I think Paul Macbeth is in the picture. I think Ricky's going to be in the picture. We know Gannon. We know Isaac. We know Anthony Barella. Like, we know Calvin. We know he's going to be in the picture. Like, we know who the guys are. I want to see some early kind of lesser known names pop off. It always happens. Always happens at the World Championships, right? Can't wait for that. I want to see a Sullivan Tipton go crazy low one day. I still want to see a Braden Sides go crazy low. I want to see Andrew Marweed ball out. Like, I want to see Noah Meitzma go all out. I want to see James Conrad, Kevin Jones. I want to see some names like throw down some nasty rounds early and have some sick storylines, because we know who's going to be there in the end, right? And that's what I'm excited about. What are you excited about?
I'm excited about seeing a tournament that could potentially make this week's tournament look like not the most prestigious tournament of all time.
Yeah.
Like, this tops everything that I've ever seen. I'm so happy and so grateful that the guys here in Estonia have done this, because I said it throughout the broadcast almost every day. I have been working since I was a child, since I found the game at 12 years old with my dad at Adler Park, to prove to people that this game is so beautiful and there's reasons to love this game. And I've been like fighting my whole life to show that to people. It's my full-time job now. And they did it for me. And it's special. So next week, did you see the bleachers set up on hole number 18 at Tampere? Yeah, that's just that's the beginning of what the show is about to be. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I don't care how the players play. I do not care. Our sport is elevating.
Yeah.
We are going. I don't care how up and down it's been since COVID. We're at the World Games in China. The temp course is being played in their version of Central Park in the middle of a 21 million person city.
Sick.
16 countries represented in an event that leads you to the Olympics if it goes well. There are grandstands being set up. People are falling in love with our game. And I have been hoping and waiting for this type of international growth and recognition since I was a little kid and I saw that blurry video of Ken Climo and Barry Schultz throwing. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Shout outs to all you guys out there that have been listening to us. Pay attention to the live show. We're going to give you some information very soon. It's going to be a great week. We're going to be doing live reactions on Instagram after every single round. We're going to do our regular episode Sunday night. It's going to be a great week. Nate, final words. What do you got?
Well, I am about to pack up my laptop and all of my podcast gear, and the rest of my stuff is packed up. I'm taking a bus to the ferry terminal. Then I'm taking a boat ride, 2-hour boat ride, 10:30 to 12:30 to Helsinki. And then I take a 5 a.m. flight from Helsinki to Edinburgh, Scotland. So not a lot of sleep, right? And on Monday, actually, I'm picking up a camper van in Scotland. And Catherine and I are driving into the Highlands. And on Tuesday, we're getting married. So biggest day of my life is coming up. I'm marrying my best friend. I found pure love, and it's the best part of my life for sure. Followed closely by
me, right?
Working with you and Jomez and the Disc Golf Network. But yeah, so if you want to donate to my honeymoon fund, it's Venmo is at Nathan-Perkins-1. I'm gonna post my Venmo to my Instagram too if anyone wants to buy Catherine and I a cup of coffee in Scotland or something. But that's my final words, Brian.
My final words are, tomorrow I am doing a 30-segment series with the Pulsea Disc Golf Academy. My good friend Kimo and I met up and got some drinks. And
sick.
He was talking about some video production stuff. And I'm doing a fundamentals of backhand and forehand with the Pulsea Disc Golf Academy.
Dude, good.
We'll give you some insights when that comes out. We'll give you some information, whether it's a free trial or just try it for a month. Just come listen to your boy talk about Frisbee. I'm going to go do this all in one day and then get to Tampere, and we're going to start doing some cool stuff. We got a putting game shoot on Thursday. I got catch shoots on Friday. Actually.
Sweet.
Oh, I can't say it because then Anthony will see. I have a surprise disc for him. I'm shooting with Anthony Barella, our catch episode. So big couple of weeks coming up. We'll see you soon, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.